Survive 30 days chained to your ex. Win $250,000. Chapter 3. The second day began with a cold draft creeping through the small room, ruffling the thin curtains and waking Susie and Josh before the alarm could even ring. The chain linking them felt heavier than yesterday, a constant reminder of their entangled existence. Both stretched cautiously, trying to avoid sudden movements that could pull or twist the chain. Silence filled the room for a few moments, the kind of quiet that was both peaceful and unsettling. Neither wanted to break it, yet neither could ignore it. They had begun to realize that surviving 30 days together would not just be about patience, it would be about understanding, compromise, and navigating the invisible terrain of each other's emotions. Breakfast was once again a strategic operation. The organizers had laid out simple food: eggs, toast, and fruit. Reaching the table required careful coordination. Josh held the plate while Susie poured juice into 2 glasses, careful not to spill. "You're getting better at this," Josh said, attempting humor to lighten the tension. Susie smirked. "Don't let it go to your head." Laughter, light and tentative, filled the room. It was a small victory, but it reminded them both that moments of levity could coexist with frustration. After breakfast, they were presented with the first real test of the day, a physical challenge designed to force teamwork under pressure. A series of obstacles had been set up in the main area of the facility: piles of tires to step over, ropes to climb, and narrow beams to balance on. The rules were simple. They had to complete the course together without breaking the chain or touching the ground outside the designated path. Failure meant repeating the entire course. Josh took the lead, suggesting, "I'll guide us through the tricky parts. You follow my steps and we'll communicate constantly." Susie nodded, tension in her shoulders easing slightly as she followed. The course tested more than physical ability. It tested patience, trust, and the willingness to cooperate despite past grievances. At one point, Susie nearly lost her footing on a narrow beam, and Josh grabbed her arm instinctively. The chain tightened, but instead of panic, they both laughed nervously. "Nice save," Susie said, a genuine warmth in her tone. "We make a good team when we try." Completing the course brought a sense of accomplishment neither had anticipated. High fives were impossible, thanks to the chain, but the satisfied smiles and shared laughter were enough to mark the moment. The challenge reinforced a simple truth: despite their differences, they could work together and overcome obstacles, even under unusual constraints. The afternoon was quieter, spent in a mix of reflection and mundane tasks. They tidied the room, sorted through their belongings, and even played a card game on the small table, negotiating every move with careful coordination. Conversation flowed more naturally now, less defensive, more curious. Susie asked about Josh's recent hobbies, and he inquired about her new job. Small personal details, once the source of awkward silences, now became bridges to connection. But not all moments were easy. Around mid-afternoon, tension flared over a minor disagreement about the arrangement of the room. Josh moved a chair without consulting Susie, and she reacted sharply. "Hey, we agreed where it goes!" The argument escalated quickly. Voices raised, but neither stormed away. They couldn't. The chain kept them physically tethered, forcing them to confront the conflict directly. After several minutes, both took a deep breath and stepped back, figuratively and literally, acknowledging that compromise was essential. Josh apologized, Susie softened, and the chain once again became a symbol of enforced cooperation rather than a source of frustration. Later, the organizers introduced a twist, a surprise mini-task that required creativity and teamwork. They were given craft supplies and asked to build a simple, functional object, a small birdhouse. Initially, both hesitated, unsure how to start without tripping over the chain or causing frustration. But gradually they found a rhythm. Josh cut pieces of wood while Susie arranged nails and hammering points. Their movements, slow and deliberate, became synchronized. By the end, a modest but sturdy birdhouse stood as proof of their collaboration. Pride glimmered in their eyes, a quiet acknowledgement that together they could create something tangible despite the unusual circumstances. Evening brought reflection and conversation. They sat side by side, the chain comfortably between them, a tangible symbol of the day's lessons. Josh spoke first, his voice low but steady. I didn't think we'd make it through a full day without major arguments, but we did. Susie nodded. Yeah, and I guess I didn't realize how much old habits still affected us, but today felt different. Both realized that progress was incremental, moments of cooperation interspersed with flashes of frustration. The chain forced them into a rhythm of negotiation, compromise, and understanding, a rhythm they were slowly beginning to master. As night fell, they prepared for bed, arranging themselves carefully to avoid discomfort while respecting personal space. The day had been a roller coaster of emotions, challenges, and small victories. Neither could predict the coming days, each certain that new tests would push their limits further. But tonight, they had proven something vital. Despite past heartbreak, awkwardness, and the weight of 30 days ahead, they were capable of working together, laughing together, and even finding fleeting moments of genuine connection. Chapter 3 ended with the quiet hum of night, the two exes resting in proximity, the chain a silent reminder that the journey was far from over. Yet, for the first time, neither approached it solely with dread. They were beginning to see possibility, growth, and perhaps a glimmer of reconciliation.